please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Well, the resolution of Bhushan Steel under IBC is a milestone in India's banking history. That's the word coming in from Leo Puri, Managing Director of UTI Asset Management Company. Speaking exclusively to Lata Venkatesh, Leo Puri attributed the pain in India's banking system to the government ownership. He said it is difficult to have a healthy banking system that's dominated by the government.
The insolvency code, I mean, a huge trophy in the form of Bhushan Steel, 35,200 crore check written for the banking sector. How do you look at it? Have we finally resolved the resolution problem?
It's a very, very big step, actually, and one that should be celebrated. It's come after a lot of effort. It's come with a lot of skeptics, if you like, attacking it or believing we would never see this day. And so I think it is a very, very important first step. The scale is significant. The quality of the process actually on the whole has been remarkably good. Yes, there have been some delays, but relative to other processes, very few. The quality of the buyer is very strong. In this case, it's a very clean transaction. So overall, I think we should be celebrating this and mark it as a milestone in India's banking history.
What about the banking sector? I mean, the quarterly results are being announced, and with a couple of more banks yet to announce their numbers, we already are hitting 55,000 crores in losses. Do you think that over there the government is found wanting, or do you think these are, you know, bad loans made in good times?
Well, I think the history is of course very long. I mean, that's very deep-rooted challenges that they have. So you can't blame this government for the creation of the problem at all. I think this goes back 2 decades to systemic issues. But I think it's been something of a missed opportunity when you look at the opportunity to reform the system. Because given how reformist the government has been and how bold it has been in other arenas that we've just talked about, it perhaps is a missed opportunity that the government has not been as bold. And I hope perhaps this is something which will be revisited very soon, because the agenda that was laid out by the Bank Board Bureau
and the Indradhanush,
which preceded, which led to the Bank Board Bureau, was a very straightforward and a very powerful agenda, which said here is a systematic and evolutionary way in which you can actually now create a functioning, healthy banking system. And I don't think that case was carried forward far enough. I think the desire to continue to retain control, or the phobia that if one did not, somehow this would lead to difficulty in managing other financial outcomes, and perhaps other less noble goals as well, have led to the financial system still being in the grip of a governance system, which will never allow, in my opinion, a healthy system to emerge. You cannot have a financial system which is dominated by government.
All right, Lata had a busy day today. She also spoke to the former chairman of SBI, Arundhati Bhattacharya. Here's what she had to say.
For the last 5 years, there was one person who strode on the banking scene like a colossus, and even today is the first name and the last word in Indian banking. I have with me Arundhati Bhattacharya, former chairman, State Bank of India. Mrs. Bhattacharya, you've been really shying away from the limelight, but today, since you are part of CNBC TV18 and UTI's Financial Advisor Awards, I guess we didn't give you an escape opportunity. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, first up, do you think at least a dawn is beginning in this, financial problems that the country went through, especially because of bad loans? The first big resolution of Bhushan Steel. Do you think now that we are starting off on something good?
Surely I do think that it's at long last sort of beginning to crystallize, and we have to understand that this is a new law. So, you know, it's going to be tested. Plus, you also must understand that these are valuable assets. So nobody is sort of going to give up without a fight. And however, you know, the good thing is that most of the cases where it has gone to the courts have been very prompt, and they have given very well-reasoned judgments. That's very important, because then the case laws are framed, and then, you know, subsequently anybody comes with the same kind of issue, it's much easier to resolve. the one thing that I want to tell you is, you know, India is a country that has a momentum of its own. And no matter what be the issues, the sheer pressure of demography is such that it is going to progress. And you can see that, you know, even where investments are very low, credit growth is very low, still if you look around, you will see many sectors doing very, very well. So, you know, if you consider the commercial vehicle sector, if you consider aviation sector, if you consider the sheer number of tourist arrivals and the usage of the airports. You know, I was told the other day, Mumbai airport is handling more than 980 flights on a daily basis. So, you know, if you look at all of these numbers, you can understand that there is a momentum in the country. And that is slowly now, you know, beginning to have its impact on our other numbers. So I think, you know, it's a good thing that has happened, and we will hope for many more resolutions in the next few months.
Okay, but I mean, the big fear, since I was a reporter and a cub reporter in '93 when the DRT Act was passed, and a more seasoned reporter in 2003 when Sarfesi was passed, even now there are 4,000 cases and only 2,000 are being heard in the 12 NCLTs. Is there a fear that this might get overwhelmed under the weight of cases?
See, there is no doubt about the fact that you need to create the kind of bandwidth that will enable these cases to be heard, and heard quickly and resolved. So there is no doubt about that at all. And in fact, you know, I think I would say that it's the media's job to keep tracking this so that nobody forgets about it, that it doesn't sort of, you know, get onto the back burner and people start disregarding it as we have the delays in the regular courts. So if we keep tracking it, and if we keep impressing on the powers that be that we need to have the right kind of bandwidth, the right kind of ecosystem, the right kind of infrastructure. You know, infrastructure is so much required. Otherwise, where will these people sit? Where will be the people who will stay there? Not only that, you know, the technology that can be used for recording evidence, for going through whatever is required to be gone through before the judgments come. So I think all of that is absolutely a crying need. But it's something that I know that the government is very well aware of. I am very hopeful that they will create it in time, because really speaking, we have very little time. Now that the 12th February circular has come, we'll see a lot many more cases ending up in these NCLTs, and where is the bandwidth for that?
Yes.
So we need to address that ASAP.